Here with Quest Trust Company. I am super excited to have our very own President Nathan Long teaching today's class today. But before we get started, we do still have our awesome free toaster promotion going on right now. And our team has actually put together a very cute retro themed video for you guys that kind of walks you through a little bit more about this promotion. So Juan, if you want to go ahead and queue up and play this video, I'll come back on at the end and finish up my announcements. And I hope y'all enjoy this video.
My goodness, another crazy day at the stock market. With all this uncertainty, how on earth am I going to feel comfortable retiring? There has to be a better way to invest my money safely.
There is.
Who said that?
The disembodied voice in your kitchen.
Oh my! Wait, what other way is there?
It's something called a self-directed IRA.
A self-directed IRA?
Yes.
Well, what does it do then, huh?
This IRA allows you to use your 401k and IRA money to invest in alternative assets, such as real estate, notes, and private entities. The stock market can be volatile, and having alternative investments that you are knowledgeable about in your IRA provides a lot less fluctuation and helps diversify your portfolio so you don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Well, that sounds like a swell idea. How do I get one of those?
All you have to do to get started is open up an IRA with Quest Trust Company. You can call one of our certified IRA specialists at 855-FUN IRAs and submit an application online now.
How grand! I think I'll call them right now.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Don't get burned by the stock market this summer. When you open an account with Quest Trust Company, we'll send you a free toaster. That's right. When you open an account right now with Quest Trust Company, you will get a free toaster. Use promo code TOASTER, right? And call 855-FUN IRAs and talk to a certified IRA specialist right now.
All right, awesome, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Our team has had so much fun putting that together and sharing it out on all of our social media channels. And I will say, you guys cannot see the other side of our marketing office right now, but we almost have boxes stacked up to the ceiling of toasters that we are sending out right now. So get them while they're hot, get them before they run out, and open up your IRA, and we'll send you a free toaster. It's a legit toaster. It makes toast. And give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. And I'll get right into the rest of the announcements. All right, perfect. So hopefully you guys can see that okay. Hopefully we're in the right view here. But again, welcome to today's webinar here with Quest Trust Company. I'm sorry? Oh, cool. We're good to go. Awesome. So for those of you guys who may be new to Quest, I just want to give a couple of announcements to walk you guys through who we are and how we can help you out as you are investing into real estate. At the core of our business, Quest is a self-directed IRA custodian. So we teach investors how to utilize their old 401ks and IRAs to invest into assets outside of the stock market. There are a ton of benefits to having a self-directed IRA. And one of the biggest is the ability to shelter these investments that you hold in your IRA from your own income and capital gains taxes each year. So very similar to if you held a stock in your IRA, all of the profits from that investment go back into your IRA, and they go back in completely tax deferred or tax free, depending on what type of account you're investing with. Now, one thing that also really sets Quest apart is our education that we not only host in our webinars and events, but also that we're able to kind of team up with you one-on-one with our IRA specialist and walk you through free consultations to really give you a good idea of how this concept really works and how it applies to your own personal situation. So we host a lot of classes, we host a lot of events. I am super excited that we're actually bringing back our in-person events soon here in the month of August. But please be aware of our disclaimer here. This is so important. Please be aware that at Quest, we do not give tax, legal, or investment advice. All of our presentations are strictly for educational purposes only, so we really encourage you to do your own due diligence before you enter into investments. But if you attend some of our classes, you'll have the ability to network with other professionals, attorneys, other real estate investors that have experience in this space. Just make sure that you take the time to vet the people that you're working with and do not rush into deals. No matter if you're using your own money, your IRA funds, really cannot stress that enough. But now that that's out of the way, let's kind of get into some more of the fun things. Now, that first slide was really for people who maybe it's your first time at Quest attending one of our classes, but I also know we have a lot of Quest clients that are watching our classes every single week. If you are a Quest client, be sure to check out our client portal and all of the new features that we have added within the last year. Our client portal has a lot of great features that you can keep up with your account. You can submit expenses to be paid for your real estate assets that you're holding in that account. And you can actually upload all of your investment documents through a brand new feature that we have called the QTC Investment Hub. And you can upload everything right there directly online. You get real-time updates from your transaction specialist. And it really makes the process of not only submitting your investments, but also keeping up with them and keeping track of the money coming in and out every month to your IRA makes it really easy and simple to keep up with. Now, as I was mentioning, this webinar is just one of many classes that we host here at Quest. We are very passionate about educating investors because if our clients don't know how to invest their IRAs, they're not going to invest their IRAs, and they're definitely not going to do it, and have success in that process. So we host a lot of events every single year, even this past year with all of the craziness, all of the in-person events getting canceled. We have really worked to put all of our content and information online. And you can find all of this online on our Education Center, our YouTube channel. If you want to rewatch today's class, as well as any other class that we've hosted for the last couple of years, honestly, go to our YouTube page, go subscribe to us on there. We are so close to hitting our next goal of 2,000 subscribers on there. So do us a favor if you're on YouTube. YouTube is one of the best educational resources, at least in my opinion. I don't even watch Netflix. I watch YouTube all the time to learn about different things. And we have a lot of great content on there, not just in our long hour-long classes, but in some shorter, kind of more condensed videos there as well. Now, I am super excited to announce that in August, we are bringing back our in-person events in Houston, Austin, and Dallas. But if you guys are not local to Texas, or even if you are and you just, want to network with people from across the country, be sure to check out the virtual networking happy hours. This event is my baby. I got it off the ground in August of last year, really out of necessity because our clients love to network with each other. And we really haven't been able to do that as easily over the last year. So we started up a virtual networking happy hour. It's twice a month. At every happy hour, we get about 50 investors that join us from across the US. And the conversations that happen in this event have really been awesome. Everyone gets a chance to share their cameras. Everyone gets a chance to introduce themselves to the group. And we've really gotten a lot of great feedback. It's really created a nice little ecosystem for real estate investors. Now, our last big online conference that we will be hosting, probably for the rest of this year, to be honest, is coming up here in just a few weeks. This is the Quest Summer Intensive. It is a bit of a different structure than most of our events that we've hosted previously. This will actually be 3 Fridays in a row if you can't attend any of the days live. If you buy a ticket for $25, you will have access to all of the recordings of the event. But it's 3 Fridays in a row. It's half days just in the mornings. And this is going to be a deep dive into the different types of investments that you can actually hold in a self-directed IRA. On the first day, we are going to focus all about real estate investing. The second day will be all about private entity, multifamily investing. And the third Friday, July 30th, will be all about holding notes and private lending with your IRA. Something that is really cool about this event is at the end of each day, we're actually going to be doing interviews with our transaction specialist, and they're going to be able to help you guys apply all of the information that you learn throughout the event. and how to actually do that investment in your IRA. So it's going to be very application based. It's not going to be the basic bird's eye view type of event. We're going to get deep into a few different topics here. So tickets are $25. Be sure to go online, get your ticket, and that event is coming up here in just a few weeks. Now, you guys are coming in at a great time right now because it is very rare that we have promotions that overlap and that Nathan lets us host promotions that directly overlap with each other. But that is exactly what is happening right now. We have a flash sale going on for the 4th of July through July 2nd. So it actually ends tomorrow. We like to get it out of the way before the holiday weekend because you guys are not focusing on opening an IRA after the 4th of July. So call us, don't wait. We will waive your application fee from now through tomorrow with the promo code FREEDOM21. And with this promo code, we'll also send you that free toaster as well. So really can't lose there. And even better, we actually have a third promotion that's stacking on top of this. Guys, this really doesn't happen too often. But starting in July, we are doing a rewards for deposits promotion where, depending on how much you roll over or transfer into your Quest account, whether you are a new or existing client, you can earn up to $500 in fee credits. Now, just send us an email, put this promo code on your application. You can list multiple on there. Our system is now set up for that, which is really awesome. And at the end of the quarter, we'll apply those account credits to you. And it could be anywhere from $125 up to $500 for the quarter. Now, I know that's a lot. I know you guys probably have some questions from here. At Quest, we really pride ourselves on being very easy to get a hold of. If you scan this QR code, you can sign up for a free consultation within about 15 seconds. And our IRA specialists are on call every single day. They wait for these requests to come through, and someone will give you a call today or reach out to you to schedule a time to have a phone call. But whether you are brand new, whether you're ready to get started today, or whether you're just, looking of, how do I find out more about the different resources that we offer, reach out to us. We're always happy to help. Give us a call, send us an email, or just go directly to our website and you can chat live with a real IRA specialist right now that is not a robot. It's actually our staff on there on the website chat to talk to you guys. And I hope you enjoyed today's class. Without further ado, I would like to go ahead and bring Nathan on. Oh, I lost my Zoom. Nathan is the president of Quest Trust Company. He's here to talk today about, is it the sticky situations class? Is it the commercial class? I forgot.
No, I'm going to talk about how to get money. I'm going to get money. That's it. I'm going to straight up. Everyone asks, how do you get access to all those clients' money? I'm going to tell you today. So that's what's going on. Should be good. That video is very embarrassing. So I'm not only the president of Quest Trust Company, I'm also very good at making silly videos about giving toasters away. So I hope some of your older crowd can appreciate, because I know some of my young staff didn't understand the reference to giving a toaster away with a bank account. So, but anyway, it was just meant to be a little humorous for you guys. Take you back. Juan, are you going to start the PowerPoint for me? Perfect, thanks. So today I really am talking about how it is that we're going to open up for unlimited amounts of capital. And what do I mean by unlimited amounts of capital? Let's take a look. If you're looking at retirement accounts right now, you're going to find out there's some amazing things. First of all, if you look at retirement accounts, it is most of America's wealth is held inside of retirement accounts as of today. So if you're looking to access money, and often even when you are accessing money through banks, you're accessing the money of retirement accounts just via a broker of a bank often, or something else. So if you want to have unlimited access, you need to look at retirement accounts. I'm not just saying that because of who I am. It's a fact. And then there's something else that happened over the course of this last year. COVID created something that's never been created before. Most of the money has always been in what we call retirement accounts, like your 401k or what we call qualified plans. Often qualified plans are not available for self-direction. The money's kind of locked up into the investments there. It takes separation of service. I've left my job or some other qualifying events like a company buying over or something, to be able to get those and move them to an IRA, and then it's available to buy real estate and borrow money from. Well, there was a shift that occurred last year, and it had to do with COVID and a lot of people retiring, and a lot of people got early retirement because of COVID. It's like all combined together. As a result, there is now more money in IRAs than there ever have been. How much money? Tons of money. And only about 3% total of that money is self-directed. But take a minute to understand something. And I love this slide or something. Almost everyone's got some retirement money. Very few people have it self-directed. All right. But there are very few people that have $5 million in their retirement account. But 25% of those are self-directed. Just let that kind of sink in for just a second. All right. What you're doing here today does make a difference. My clients understand how to truly build wealth, and joining them is important. At Quest, we've spent a lot of time learning about a lot of things, and we're happy to share those with you. Again, we provide the education so you can have the freedom to make your own choices that you have. Now, today's topic, I got to tell you, I'm going to be really opinionated. Okay. I can't help it in this particular one. I consider myself an expert in the field, yet I have never in my life gone and borrowed private money, to tell you the truth. Never have. Okay, so what would make me an expert? Well, I've been on the other side of the fence for a long time. I have loaned privately my money out to primarily real estate investors in a variety of circumstances. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also done it well. And I teach a class about people who want to lend their money, how to get it, safely. But that's not what this class is. This class is really directed to the people that are wanting to borrow the money and use someone else's money inside, and particularly use someone's IRA. And I find that a lot of people that are doing this are real estate investors, and they make some serious mistakes. So this class is my opinion of what you should do if you want to approach a private lender, and it's from the view of a private lender. Not only do I have the view of all of my personal loans that I've done, but let's remember something. I'm the president of Quest Trust Company. We have over $2 billion, right, under management. I see these transactions all the time. I see the good ones. I see the bad ones. I see the medium ones. I see all of it. I see mistakes. I see everything else. It is like I've got a view into a whole bunch of things, and I'm going to try to share some of that view with you so you can feel more comfortable about asking somebody for money. Because let's face it, it's a little hard. Hey, you got like $300,000-$400,000 I can have? I promise a good guy I'll give it right back. That's a hard conversation to have. So hopefully I can help a little bit. Like I said, it's a very one-sided class, and it's also full of my opinions. So take them as you will. All right. One thing I want you to understand, and this is a primary mistake that I see a lot of people make, there is a primary skill difference between deals and finding private money. If you're a good real estate investor, and I don't care whether you're talking about syndication or I'm buying flips or I'm buy and hold, you should always be looking for two things. What are those two things? Deals and money. Deals and money. What do you look for first? It doesn't matter. You're looking for them all the time, all the thing, right? If you got money, you'll find deals. Deals, money, you'll find them all the time. But you're always looking for those two things. It's not one came first. But there's a major difference between the two. One of the major differences is when you find a deal, what do you better do next? I'll tell you the answer. Most of you are going, oh, you got to get a contractor. You're going through all the things in your head that you have to do to get that house ready to flip or whatever your strategy is. And that's not it at all. You better go out and find another deal. Why? Because when you get done with that one, you're going to be unemployed. The next deal is more important than the deal you're working on. And so you better looking for a deal. When you find a private lender, it's usually just the opposite. If you take good care of a private lender, they're not only going to fund that transaction. When you give them the money back, they're going to want you to put it back out there to work again and again and again and again. And often they have access to a lot more money than you may be aware of in your first conversations. So when you found a borrower, you found one, right? And sometimes the skills for being a good real estate investor do not lend to the skills for being a good borrower to an investor, right? What do I mean by that? I mean that if you're out hunting for real estate deals, what are you doing? Right? You're looking for the bargain, then you're going to negotiate down, and then you're going to find contractors and you're going to negotiate with them. And everything's about time and money and how much you can cut and save and do things. A borrower, it's just the opposite. You want to bring them into your fold, right? If you start out the conversation with a negotiation, you've probably already lost. Often people will come up to me. I'm a private money lender myself. I'm often looking for deals to borrow with. I'm out networking. I might mention people, anyone interested in loaning money, come see me. Or borrowing money, come see me. And first thing, people come up, throw their hand out and say, hey, Nathan, one other thing. Oh, what's your rate? What's your rate? What are you doing? What do you think? What do you rate? That's not the conversation I'm interested in at all. What is most borrowers most interested in? And it will start with security. You've got to address the borrower's needs. You have to be able to know how to do that in order to build a relationship. Because the difference between a deal and a money is deals will come and go. A relationship is for the rest of the lives. And so how you treat them is very, very important. Let's talk first about where you find them. Where do you find private lenders? Well, honestly, they're everywhere. You just have to understand most people have retirement accounts, but have no idea how they would have a loan in it secured by real estate. Though most people would like it if they did know how to do it. So you use your network. You can come to Quest events. I guarantee you that there are people online right now in this, watching this thing, that are sitting with money wanting to lend it to you. I mean, I happen to be one of them, but I know for a fact there is more money in Quest retirement accounts in cash than there ever has been. I think it's 400 million or something like that. Those are investors that are leaving it there, getting 0% interest because they've already understand that this is a very good way for them to grow their retirement account, and they're out hunting for you, the people there. So Quest Events is a great way to do it, but it's by far the only thing to do, right? Attend local RIAs is good. Look what other people are doing. Often borrowers will go to local RIA, or lenders will go to things and investor type meetups. But the other thing is learning how to talk to your family, friends, and just coworkers, just the people you know. If you know how to do that in an educated way, you would be surprised at how much you can come up with. Sometimes you have to have done a few deals first before you can get your family to join on, right? But there is. And like I was alluding to before, there really is no shortcuts to being a good private money lender. Whereas on the other side of the fence, whenever I'm doing a deal, I'm always looking for the shortcut, right? I'm always looking at how to get it done faster and do more and do this. This leads me to a point that I like to make sometimes. Sometimes couples become real estate investors. And this is either extremely powerful or it's extremely tragic, right? And the way it becomes very powerful is if you guys learn how to identify your duties. And I call it staying out of each other's kitchen, right? In other words, you do your thing, I do my thing. typically, as you define those different duties, you find that one of you is better at relationships and one of you is better at deal hunting. That should be the person that's focused in on relationships. If you're not, if you're a solo type of person out there, not working in a team, don't have someone else, you should focus on developing your skill, your relationship skills. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that during the thing. And I don't mean relationship like dating skills. I'm talking about your business relationship skills. So we'll do the things. Okay. So again, it's all about that relationship with your lender. And most investors have a lot more money than you think, especially if you learn how to approach them in an educated manner. Okay. First thing, you must make the process painless. I'm a lender. I know a lot about buying real estate. I know a lot of things. Why would I be a lender when I could do buy and hold real estate, which I could show you on paper pays better over time because you get appreciation and cash flow. It's hard to beat that, right? Well, I do it because it's less work. Toilets and tenants are a lot of work. And most people who have money to lend to you want the process to be painless, okay? The problem that you often find inside when you're doing these things is you're just say, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to, buy this house and I'm going to pay you 10% interest and you're going to loan me the money. And they go, whoa, okay, great. That sounds great. But the devil happens to be in the details. First of all, if we're using a retirement account, the very first thing you want to do is to bring in an IRA specialist. You should have one already in your pocket. If you don't, call Haley, call one, just do a conference. Remember, education services are free at Quest. It's free to talk to an IRA specialist, right? So once you get to get one that you feel comfortable with and you're talking to someone about using money, you immediately want to bring in an IRA specialist. Why? You always want to try to use as many professionals as you can. You can go to someone and say, hey, you can use your retirement account to loan it to me and secure it by real estate. It's a really cool thing, right? But then you bring in one of my IRA specialists that's highly trained on retirement accounts. And rather than you tell it, say, hey, I want to introduce you to this person. They provide a lot of education for me about lending and have been very helpful. What's going to happen? Haley or one of her many IRA specialists. I mean, it takes 4 years, guys, for me to make an IRA specialist, certified IRA specialist, 4 years. Okay. And that's not an exaggeration in any shape or the form. So they know a lot of stuff and they come in and they are very professional and they have no horse in the race, right? They're going to honestly talk to people about what they can do and not they can do and what works. Well, when they do that, what happens is they'll start talking to the people, not just about their retirement account they may want to use, but their entire financial plan. Their retirement account, their wife's retirement account, the kids' college fund, the HSA, and they have a good job of bringing all these accounts together. What's happening to you? What is that for you? It's literally they're digging into the pots of money and just scraping it together for you. All right? Something else happens. They gain more confidence because you're using a professional. Here's the other thing. As they teach about partnering, I'll talk a little bit more about this, but as they teach about bringing these different accounts together, now we're starting to talk about wealth building. And you've raised yourself. How? Because all of a sudden, you're not bringing a deal to somebody. What you're bringing to them is the ability to create money for the rest of their lives and their families' lives. And that's life changing. Greatest thing about working at Quest is every day I hear someone say, you changed my life. And it's pretty cool because I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm like, me? Oh, golly gee shucks, but I hear it every day. They say they listen to the things that we said. So bringing an IRA specialist is important. You use professionals. Talk about the next thing. Bring in and introduce an attorney. Okay. I know it's really easy to use the attorneys at the title companies. to draft your note and deed of trust if you're in Texas. Now, if you're in another state, it might be a mortgage. But at some point, you're paying someone to draft up these documents, your loan documents, right? And your security instruments on that loan. I always suggest using a private attorney to do this. There's plenty of them out there. And why? Once again, it demonstrates that you're using professionals. And a good document attorney is going to get on the phone, and they want the same thing you do. They want multiple business out of these people too. They want you to continue to lend. So they're going to take some time to explain in the first dealings with them that, hey, I'm being paid for out of proceeds by the seller, but I'm really your attorney. All this stuff I'm drafting is in the event that your borrower defaults, then I'll step in and start the foreclosure proceedings. And this is how it works. And in Texas, it's really easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draft this note and deed of trust. And I'm also going to tell the title companies certain instructions to protect you, like make sure that you have insurance, make sure that you have this, make sure you have that. Man, oh man. If you do that, you're laying the groundwork for a very good relationship. Why? Because once again, you're putting their needs in front of your own, especially on the first deal. Introduction to an IRA specialist, introduction to an attorney that's actually looking out for their needs. Got to pick a good one, right? What's the next? A good title company. You want to have a title company that's used to doing private and commercial type deals, right? Not just a FHA title company or something like that. I don't know. You got to have a good one in there that knows what's going on and stay on top of it. You don't want your lender to be involved in certain things. And one of the things that will help you to avoid confusion here is to, whenever you're sitting down, borrower and lender, all right, and you're going to borrow someone's money, get a yellow piece of paper. All right, we're going to do 10% interest. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about other things, like when the payment's going to be due and other things with your attorney. And you map all that out. And the reason why you want it mapped out is the attorney's not there to negotiate for you or them, right? They just want the terms of the agreement, explain what their duties are, and go on to doing their documents. And you may have to pay a little bit more for an attorney that's actually going to talk to your people versus someone that just does your documents. But that little bit of money that you're going to spend. Next, when you do get to the title company, make sure you explain to your lender that you're getting title insurance not only for yourself, but you're putting a rider on there that covers them as a lender. You want to get a lender's title policy. All banks require that anyway. It's not unusual, but by you explaining this again to your lender, they may not understand how the title insurance will actually help protect them as well. Same with regular insurance. Hey, my insurance guy that I use to do insurance is I use this guy here while I'm doing the rehab, and then I switch over to this guy whenever I'm renting it or whatever your insurance is, right? But the important part about the insurance is I'm listing you on the insurance policy as the lender, so that you have to sign off in the middle. If there was like a hurricane or something like that, you're gonna have to sign off on that. Again, demonstrating your ability to look out for their needs. Next, talk about the contractors you use. Man, it's really hard to get contractors out there. I'm really lucky. I've got, Bob and Joe. They've been doing this with me for a long time. Whatever it is, keep them involved in the loop and talk about these things. I guarantee if you have a good discussion with a borrower and you're talking about their retirement needs through an IRA specialist, how you're seeing that they're protected, their payments and stuff through an attorney, using a proper title company, insurance and professional things, you are in the first steps of the races to having a borrower lines. Next, so important, again, relationship building, starting with comps. Often when you're borrowing private money, can get around some of the other things that other lenders require, like having a full appraisal. Typically, I often will do it myself. I will loan money just based off of comps that you provide of sales and that. Make sure that when you're giving data, it's accurate and good, and that you haven't fudged it to kind of make your deal look a little better. Don't pick the best comp. Good private lenders, check your comps. I know I do. And if I see a deal that looks even slightly inflated, I just tell them, no, I don't have any money at this time, and I'll never talk to the person again. It's like it's the turn off of turnoffs. It's bad breath on the first date, So don't do that. Here's the next thing. Talk about how you're going to do the repairs. This goes important to before you introduce them to the attorney, so that the attorney knows what's going on, right? You should talk, like I said, tell them who your contractors are, but talk about your time frame, what you expect to spend, and total cost. A lot of this goes back to possibly escrows. Often, whenever I'm loaning money, I'm going to loan you the total amount you need. You need $100,000 to buy and fix up the house, $70,000 to buy it, $30,000 to fix it up. You're going to sell it for $140. Just making numbers up. It's pretty low numbers in today's world. But I'll lend you the whole $100,000, but I'm going to escrow out those repairs. In other words, you're going to have to do some repairs, and I'll give you a check and do some more repairs, give you another check, so forth and so on. You want to put that in a little time frame. All right. And what's really, really, really important is, especially on your first deal, is you're talking to your lender about what's going on. You know what your lender does when you borrow money on your first deal? They drive by the house again and again and again. And they're driving by, and what's happening? Well, when they drive by, they loan you all this money. They don't, know you that well. And they drive by and nothing's happening in that house. They bought that house and nothing at all is happening. Well, you know what's going on. You'd applied for a bunch of permits and you're waiting for your permits. And your crew's out working on another house. But they don't. Keep them informed. Tell them what's going on. Also, when you take the time to set up your escrow sheet, you got to be honest with them at setting the expectations. I almost never get the repairs escrowed out of escrow in the exact same order that they've got listed that they thought they were going to get done when we first do it, right? Oh, crap. This guy can't get out here yet. So this, and my borrowers will call me and go, hey, Nathan, okay, I got through this, this, and this, and this on our checklist. I'm going to ask for another draw out of the escrow account. These are the things I've done. These things I haven't done. This is what we're going to do. As long as I know what's going on, 99% of the time, the same way. They're okay with that. They just want to see progress, see what's going on. And often you just forget to tell them at all. This is all stuff that takes literally a minute and a half, but changes the way the lines, right? And I've been talking about the rehab schedule. It's also really important to talk about payments, how you make them, and when. All right. For example, you could close on the 21st of the month and the payment be due every 30 days on the 21st. Or you could have to pay a little interim interest and they get the payment on the 1st. Does it matter? Probably not to you. Does it matter? Probably not to the attorney or the title company, right? But if you haven't decided on that, what happens? The attorney's going to turn and go, okay, when do you want your payment date? And they're going to be confused. Again, got to make the process painless. And that includes having all those details, including the payments. Next, tell them how you're going to make your payment. I highly suggest electric payments. Like if you're using a Quest account, you just log on. They give you a log on and you can log on and they can track those payments going into their account in real time. Very, very, very helpful. But tell them how you're going to do it. I'm going to pay this or that. Next, especially on the first loan, especially on the very first payment of the loan, after you sent the payment, you contact them and say, I sent the first payment. I want to make sure it got through. Did you get it? Again, this is one of the very important times to show that you're concerned that you're fulfilling your part of the agreement. Remember, a lender fills their agreement the moment that you close. When they hand you that flash of cash, they've done every bit of the fulfillment of their contract. It's your job, it's your onus as a borrower to show them that you intend to fulfill your portion of the contract, which is to make payment. Here's the next thing I would tell you. Most flippers like to tell the lenders, I will pay you when I'm done with my deal. We'll let the interest carry and I'll pay you all off at the end of the deal. Why? Well, you're not getting paid in the meantime. So that makes sense to you. I tell you, it's so much better to make monthly payments for two reasons. And again, it goes back to building trust. One reason, a lot of my clients personally, I find, live off their interest payments. They're at retirement age. They like to loan their money out and then they spend their interest payments. Everyone follow that? So they like to get monthly payments. Two, in the event of default, say you died, a lender has no course of action until the end of the loan. The house may just sit there, even though it was meant to default back to them. But if there's payments in there and a payment gets missed, then I have a trigger that allows me to foreclose. Explaining that to them again says, wow, you're thinking about the things that I should be thinking about, but this borrower is actually thinking about them for me. All right. Important stuff. It's an important thing to talk about the payments, when you're going to make them, how you're going to make them. And I say you should make payments. You go, but I don't have the money. Really? Then you didn't structure your deal right and borrow enough, because you should always borrow enough to figure it costing more and taking longer. And the cost of your interest or your payments is just part of your deal, just like the cost of a countertop or a floor. Learn how to bid your deals right, and you won't have that as a problem. Sorry, I'm getting fussy here. Ooh, need more coffee, I think. Also, goes back to the other thing, keep it simple for them. Again, have the rehab schedule, but talk to them about the chain payments. Make sure that you're being helpful, okay? Tell them, hey, we make these many late payments. I know that one of the things that I see people do sometimes in Texas is we have a very low penalty in Texas allowed for if you're late on these type of loans. So you say, well, in Texas, the penalty, the maximum amount is 5%. And that's what I'll put on here, but I never have an intention of making a late payment through you because I make these payments on time. Here's one other thing that I want you to think that really seriously is the last thing on this page, which is loan extensions. I have some borrowers I've been loaning to for years and years and years and years and years, decades at this point. Okay. And often they are flippers, but they're also rent and hold. So sometimes I will give them a high interest rate loan. And what they do is they fix the property up with the intention of selling it, but instead they put a renter in. Renter in there, I have a 1-year loan. Loan comes to the end, I just extend it. They're okay paying that higher interest rate because what they're typically doing is gathering up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, and then they put them all together in one big loan and wipe out the private monies that way. That way they're keeping their money flow going. Everyone follow that. The problem with it is when the loan comes to the end, even though the people have plenty of security and you're making the payments, you really need to file a new loan extension. You call the attorney back, say, hey, we need a loan extension. They're super cheap typically to have drafted up. You call before the loan expires, 60 days before, hey, the loan's coming to the end. I would really like to have an extension. Don't assume that that's your thing. And it doesn't cost anything. I'm going to have them draft it, and we're just going to put the date out a little bit further. I'm telling you what happens inside a retirement account if you don't. See, I'm not allowed by the state of Texas to hold expired notes for very long. So if I get an expired note after a certain amount of time, I'm going to send a warning to my client, say, hey, if you've got an expired note inside your IRA, you have to update that or we're going to distribute it. That could be very distressful to your borrower. And again, ruin your relationship. You can ruin your relationship all different types of ways and never know what you did wrong. And I'm listing them. If you go back and you had a borrower didn't lend to you again, look back, you did one of these things wrong. I guarantee it. Okay. And probably the most important time is the end of the loan. And the time that I see most borrowers mess it up the most. Okay. And it starts with the payoff. See, you're all happy. You finished your house, your realtor listed it. You got a buyer, right? You opened up title, threw it to the title company. I'm getting paid. What is the title company's first thing they do? They call the lender and say, hey, can I have a payoff, please? If it's private money, this person's never done a payoff. They don't know what to do. I remember one particular circumstance that this happened to a lender, and they were very, very distraught and upset. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, like as I tell the story, why they're upset, but they did a 1-year loan at 12% interest, 1% per month to be paid. 8 months into the loan, the borrower had flipped the property and sold it, and they asked for a payoff. Well, she was really upset because she had only gotten 8% on her money. Right? And didn't know how to fill off this payoff. Well, it sounds stupid, but of course she only had the loan 8 months, not 12 months. And that's why annually, she did get 12%. You need to interview your lender at the end of the loan. I'm so excited. Your money that you loaned me really allowed me to do a phenomenal deal, and it helps provide for me, my wife, and my children, and I appreciate you. Saying these things means something. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a payoff, and I want to go through it, and I want to make sure that you understand and happy. If you're borrowing principal, it's simple. It seems so simple to you, it's hardly worth explaining, right? I got the principal amount of loan, I got my interest, and that's our payoff. Okay, interest from now until the time that I close. Okay, but this is also the time that you ask for advice. All right. Hey, this is important. How did you feel about loaning to me? Is there anything that I could have done to make you feel more comfortable? You see where I'm getting at? We don't like to even talk about feelings in our own home, let alone with strangers that we don't know. But these are important words because, again, we're developing a relationship, not doing a deal. And 9 out of 10 times when you ask those questions, you're going to get an honest answer. Some people might tell you, oh, I was really nervous, it made me scared. But, when you called me and told me what was going on, that really made me feel better. You might be really, really surprised at some of the responses that you have. And then if they did feel positive, say, would you like to do more? And is there anyone else in your family or friends that I could help build wealth in their homes as well? Guys, if you do this, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the secret sauce. It doesn't take a ton. It doesn't take a ton of people at all to do this. Most IRAs are used as investors in a large syndication deal or in a passive way. They don't want to be aligned. So make sure that you're taking the time to look for all the different people and ways inside your investment and make that experience truly passive for them. As you do that, you'll be able to do some things. There are some things to that's another part of it I don't really want to spend too much time on. But if you are doing syndication deals, take some time to talk to an IRA specialist and understand all types of things. Like, and this is true of anytime you're borrowing money, to tell you the truth, not just syndication type deals, but disqualified people, who they are. Those are the people that can't do business with the IRAs. I didn't take time to do that in this speech, but we have it out there a lot, right? And make sure you're using a good securities attorney that's familiar with the use of IRAs. And take time to understand unrelated business income tax if we're buying debt leveraged property inside an IRA, and share that with your investors. You would be surprised how many people try to walk away from that because it's kind of a tough thing to deal with. But if you learn how to deal with it in the right way, most of your investors appreciate the information and you end up keeping investments for life. Honestly, the real thing to any type of raising money is communication, and not just communication in the beginning when you got the deal, but communication all the way through the deal. If you've done it right, you should not only be able to ask for their money again, but you should tap into a lot more of theirs and their friends' money. I was just thinking, a friend of mine been using IRA money for a long time. They retired from a job they didn't like, said they were going to become an IRA or a real estate investor, and they did. They're actually really good at it. Mostly flip houses and completely funded all their transactions using private money. And I was laughing with them. I'm like, because my new system I can kind of see, and I said, "Man, you've done $30 million in transactions." And this guy is not buying these big expensive houses. These are very inexpensive houses. It's a lot. 30 million is a lot of these, right? I said, "Wow, that's really amazing." I said, "You must have a lot of private money lenders." And he giggled and he says, "No, I only have 5. And he said, I met the 5 private lenders I had at a Quest event years ago. I went to a couple of them, and within the first few events, I had 5 lenders, and they've really provided me all the money I've ever needed to grow my business, just through that relationship with those 5 people and in the use of all the. Were they really wealthy? It's like, no. I mean, they weren't unsuccessful people. He used to be a policeman, so he said I had 2 retired policemen, a retired fireman, a retired teacher, and an engineer. And he says just them and their families do it. So take some time, talk to one of our IRA specialists. And I would maybe as a parting thought, I'd ask you to consider this. Prior to COVID, a lot of us had a lot of difficulties, and COVID was especially hard on Quest. It really was. We market ourselves through events. People lost their job. They're bleeding money out of things, out of their retirement accounts. And we'd recently become a trust company and had to have a lot of restricted capital raised in a short period of time. And it was a difficult time. And I know what I was able to do is turn to my staff. And through it, they were amazing. They guided this company in ways I've never seen. We never had to lay off a single person. We switched jobs, we did all types of things. And it just makes me realize that the people you surround yourself with really make a difference in the quality of your life, the quality of your family life, and everything that happens. And I'm very proud with the people I chose to work for me at Quest. I'm very happy with my clients because they're so gracious and wonderful people to work with. And I'm one of the most blessed people in the world because of you guys. And I just think about that. Think about who you want to surround yourself with going in the future, who you should have surrounded yourself with going in the past, and I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice I could give you. If you guys want to know how to contact an IRA specialist, Haley will tell you all about it here. Haley, are you on? Come sell for me because I'm terrible at it.
Awesome, guys. So as Nathan was saying, if you have questions, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. And we do have the flash sale going on. So if you guys joined after our initial announcements in the beginning of this class, we are waiving account opening fees through tomorrow as a little 4th of July kind of flash promotion. Nathan, I do actually have a really good question from one of our attendees. that I would like to ask you. One of our attendees wants to know, is this presentation based mostly on borrowing money for fix and flips? Are there any tips for borrowing money to buy real estate notes? It's a great question.
Well, I mean, yes, we have a lot of note classes that are out there. But then there's also experts that are better than me. I mean, I love Eddie Speed and some of the stuff that he teaches. I mean, though it sounds simple, note buying can be one of the most complicated ways to do things. And certainly one of the all-time experts, and I'm not just bragging, or maybe I am a little bit about it, is Quincy. So look for Quincy's classes are thick, but dig deep into our education and look for some of those classes that Quincy teaches about using loans on those. Other great places, education that you send out there. Who else out there, Haley? I mean, your dad's pretty strong, but.
Oh, yes. And a lot of these people that you just mentioned will be speakers at our summer intensive that we have coming up in July. So that'll be a great event to ask those questions, get that kind of higher level knowledge directly from those experts. Nathan, we do have one more question. It's not really related to what we talked about today, but it did just come in. Still a good topic. It disappeared. Where can I get a better understanding of UBIT and how to borrow money?
I saw that come in the chat. Yeah, go on.
It's in the Q&A box.
So what they're talking about for the rest of the audience is unrelated business income tax. If we buy real estate and that real estate has a note on it, we do it inside an IRA, it can create some taxation to the IRA, not the IRA holder. Ooh, that's complicated now. I've explained this very well in two good places. There is a class called Real Estate Sticky Situations, Buying Real Estate, where I address that in there. There's a long UBIT section. And the same information taught slightly differently is problems and solution in commercial real estate. So both of those, so depending on whether you're buying residential real estate or commercial real estate, you might want to pick or maybe watch both. But I will define the UBIT problem, and then I will go into separate solutions, including what I call my magic bullet, which makes UBIT go away. So watch those classes. That's a very advanced topic, but very good question to ask. And thank you, whoever asked it.
Definitely. And I did plug our email address here in the chat just one more time. If you guys have more questions, send them to us directly at iraspecialists@questtrust.com. And be sure to take advantage of some of those promotions that we have going on right now. Like I said, it's not often that they stack up right against each other, but that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pay attention more in the marketing meetings next month. I can tell that.
Yes. Awesome. Nathan, that's all I got. Any last kind of final thoughts before we wrap it up today?
No, I'm good. Haley did a great job. I'll let you finish it out. If you guys have additional questions, you can contact me at nathan.long@questtrust.company, or better yet, talk to one of our IRA specialists. They are very good at what they do. And I'm not just bragging. Thank you, Haley.
Awesome. Thanks, Nathan. And thank you to everyone out there for watching us. We don't have a self-directed IRA Saturday webinar this weekend due to 4th of July. So I hope everyone has a safe and fun holiday, and we'll hopefully see you soon at some of our grand opening events that we have coming up in August. Thanks, and y'all have a great week.